Well. We back at it. We back at it again, you sons of mentions. What's up, fight fans? It's your man 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Hands Up, Fah Fah. You already know what it is. Starting this thing off a little early. It's Super Bowl Sunday, so I might as well have a little fun with the narratives. Why not? So I hope everybody's good out there in the world. Anybody's gonna catch this on playback, that's good. But fuck it, man. Let's go. I see. There's a lot of, I'm going to be nice about this. There's a lot of slow people in this world. There's just a lot of dumb people in this world that I guess we should have to make room for. And considering that I understand there's a bunch of delusional, dumb people in this world that just can't understand reference points or can't understand the certain points you have to make when you're speaking on certain fighters or you're speaking on matchups. Well, let me slow this thing down so it makes a little more sense for you motherfuckers. So shout out to everybody. Hope everybody's good this Sunday morning. Hope everybody brings out all their best of spirits considering it's Super Bowl Sunday. And just have a hell of a time. Shout out Martin Ramos, Boxing God, everybody. What's good? So look, man. John B. Poetic, what it do? See, people, I guess people don't understand, y'all, that on this channel, I'm supposed to break down the breakdowns. I'm supposed to talk about shit that fanboys and certain fans of certain fighters aren't necessarily going to think about it. Because if you are going to watch a boxing match, or if you want understanding of a boxing match, or to go into it with some type of idea of what's going on, if this is a boxing channel, it's my job to do that. So I guess when I made the Elite Level Lies video or whatever on Tyson Fury, when Talk Sports was a very, reputable news site, shows his training regimen, shows his size, shows his body and all of that shit, I'm going to analyze. And I'm looking at this like, buddy looking like soft serve ice cream right now on a cone. And I mean, hey, if that's what that dude looks like, that's what he looks like. But see, this is what people got to understand. There's a difference in having no definition or no tone to your chest, to your body, to your arms or whatever, and just being flat out fat. When people think about fights, they look at it from fight to fight like, oh, okay, he kicked ass or he didn't kick ass, so that might just be whatever the case may be. But no, it doesn't work like that. If you've ever done a fantasy draft, it doesn't work like that. If Lamar Jackson put up 27 points in his last fantasy outing, it doesn't mean that he might not go out and put up 12. You want to know why? Because matchups matter. So you're not going to go out and draft, if it's soccer, Lionel Messi, I think his name is. I might be wrong. I don't watch soccer or European football. If he goes out and he puts up 30 and he's playing against whoever he's playing, he might not put up 30 in the next one. If that's how it worked, then everybody would be making money every week. George Salute, appreciate you with the super sticker, my guy. All the Constable, what's popping with the Queen, though? The Queen, though. People don't understand when it comes to boxing, just like when it comes to that stat sheet you put together or your DFS for fantasy drafts, that you're going to have to break down opposition's tendencies, what they do well, what they don't do well. When it comes to fights, you have to break down size and dimensions. What people do well, what they don't do well. What are their tendencies when they go into these fights? What do they usually do? Hold on one second. All right, had to put that phone upstairs. Got tired of it ringing. You guys don't need that shit. All right, so what do people usually do? You should, if you have a sound mind, even if you are a fan of a certain fighter or you're not a fan of a certain fighter, you should know that person's tendencies. It gives you an idea and of understanding of what you're going to be looking at and what's going to be taking place. If I'm watching a tall fighter fight a short fighter, is the short fighter going to fight on the outside? Would that be his best strategy? No, he would probably fight on the inside. He would try to minimize the distance. He would try to take his range away from him, take Sting off of the punches, and understand that if he doesn't separate and make room, his shots make absolutely no sense on the inside. And if it's a long fighter, you want to stay on the outside, popping the jab, keeping room so he could put him on the end of that very long, stiff jab. Pause. So these are things that you have to take in consideration. So when I speak on Tyson Fury and I'm looking at his weight and I'm looking at his size and everything like that, and you guys clearly must not understand that in most of Tyson Fury's career, the average of his fight size was usually around 249 pounds if you want to go by box stats, but usually if you think about the Klitschko fight, around 256. Recently, when he fought Otto Wallin and he threw, I believe, over 350 punches in that fight and landed over 115 or something like that, he was 254 pounds. He was a couple pounds lighter than when he fought Vlad. That was in a sense of urgency. So that was a certain level of punch output that you saw for that fight. When he fought Deontay Wilder, the first fight, around 256 pounds. Second fight, 271. Third fight, 278. And clearly out of shape. Clearly out of shape. You can take advantage of those types of things when you're going against those type of fighters. But if he's going to fight Dillian Whyte, who can carry 270 pounds, as we saw against Mariusz Wach, on the inside, fighting on the inside, whether that was his optimal weight or not. These are certain things you're going to have to look at. If you're looking at Tyson Fury wanting to go in there and be successful, you got to ask yourself, how long is he going to be successful at a 278 pounds, 273, 271? If you go anywhere before that, it was always around the realm of 256. That would have to be what? Almost a 50, 20 plus pound slice off, correct? So when people act like this is just some video to focus on his gut or to focus on bashing him, this is why I say the delusional will just have deaf ears. They're not going to hear shit when it comes to opposition. They're not going to understand shit when you speak on a person's size. They're not going to understand shit when you're speaking on a certain weight, because all of these things are what count and what makes sense. If a motherfucker looks fat and out of shape and he's going up against a person when we know he doesn't have punch power, when he know he isn't known to knock anybody out, Deontay Wilder, completely different sandwich. Baloney, might I add you. He can knock him up and down the ring lefts. I don't care. That's a person who's not going to give you footwork. That's a person who is not going to successfully pop the jab on the evening, have a nice jab, a thorough jab, a jab that's going to punch through your freaking head on the evening. He's going to throw a couple windmills at you. It's not going to be as refined in technique. But so we want to focus on the body, the body, the body. Yes, stupid. In a lot of ways, you have to focus on an opponent's body because you need to know what he brings to the table, right or wrong. Or maybe I'm just talking shit. I don't know. It's not about how defined he is, stupid. It's about how refined he is when he's working at that weight. Can Tyson Fury go 12 rounds against Dillian Whyte, throwing as many punches as he thrown against Otto Wallin at a 278 pound, 273 pound average? That's a question I'm trying to ask you, stupid. Can he do that? How successful would he be? And is it far-fetched for anybody to believe that Dillian Whyte, a top 5 heavyweight, could be potentially the toughest opponent he ever fought in his career? Vlad, snooze fest. He didn't even throw his hands. Derek Chisora, we know what that was. 1 and 2. That was a different Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury at 256 pounds. Tyson Fury got an average of 249 pounds. Not a Tyson Fury at the average of 270 plus pounds. So all I'm speaking to is I'm speaking to things that you need to pay attention to. How is he going to operate? Is he going to go in the inside? Is he going to give him the ability to just lay on him? I don't think so. And when he doesn't have any punch power, I mean, how much of a threat are you going to be if you can't stop shit? And if you don't have the ability to pop the jab on the outside all night, I think he's going to get a hold of you. Period. And I'm sorry if that fucking makes some of you feel butthurt. But y'all want to focus on like I equate boxing to bodyguard tactics or some shit like that. Excuse me, bodybuilding tactics. I don't look at boxing like that. Shit, fucking look at Rougarou's stomach. That motherfucker looked like he ain't never worked out a day in his life. But is he in shape? Absolutely. Some people just aren't built like that. So don't just think that I'm just some delusional person who just tries to pick narratives out the sky and just throw up a video like I'm out here to bash Tyson Fury. I do believe we can go back. Wilder Fury too. Didn't I pick Tyson Fury to win that fight by knockout when the whole world was like, man, pillow-fisted Luke Fury? Nah, he can't do that. I have nothing to gain by shitting on anyone. I have nothing to gain from that. It's about game plan. So when I'm just like, man, I don't know about it, man, doing all of the things that I've been seeing. Simple as that. George, appreciate you with the super chat. He says, the exception being that the smaller fighter having long arms or quicker feet than the opponent's chance. The exception being that the smaller fighter having long arms and or quicker feet than the opponent, the chance of fighting on the outside. Some people say that Tony Lyon, salute, says some people say Dillian White wouldn't do shit to Fury. Yet Otto Wallin took Fury 12 rounds, and Dillian ain't no Otto Wallin. Dillian has longer reach, a powerful jab, and a nasty left with savage body blows. That is a fact. At 5-pound body percent fat, I was still soft in the midsection, but I had a gas power and wind tank for days. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you have to look like a bodybuilder or Anthony Joshua to go out and have success. How well did that do him? Being at 256 pounds, blown up fucking bodybuilder shoulders and all of that shit. It didn't do him well. He looks better at a much lower weight than that. I don't care about body. I don't care necessarily about sculpted muscles. What I care about is optimal performance. How are you going to perform at your optimal level? Like, what are you going to look like? What is Tyson Fury going to look like when I match him up against? Because that's what I think people are missing. I think people are missing just the stylistic aspect of this conversation. Because it has nothing to do with what Tyson Fury has done or what he hasn't done. It has everything to do with, we're looking at the size and the weight that he's been operating underneath Sugar Hill. It went from 271 to 278, and let's be honest, Wilder vs. Fury 3 looked slow. People are calling this man the best heavyweight boxer of this generation. I beg to differ. People are putting him on levels with Muhammad Ali. All I'm saying is you've never really seen an individual tested. And then when he goes through something, you make excuses for him. He hasn't been proven yet. I mean, it's just funny to me how we're just going to just completely dismiss a top 5 heavyweight like he has nothing to offer. But I could show you a guy that was 210 pounds that knocked him on his ass when he was at 249, I believe. A cruiserweight. So Deontay Wilder operated from what? 215 to 239-ish from 1 through 3. Steve Cunningham weighed in at came in the fight at 210. But the difference in all of that is earlier Tyson Fury worked with a weight that was more easy for him to get around the ring, more easy for him to pop a jab, more easy for him to throw consistent combinations and not worry about his legs failing you. Because if you have to live your life on the outside, or you have to hope that you can fatigue an individual by laying your weight on him on the inside and chipping away shots, finding separation and using the pivot game, That's still exerting a lot of energy. So what I'm saying is, who does it benefit more? I don't care who you like, but who does it benefit more to be on the inside or the outside? I think we can all answer that question. So if you're focusing on body types, you're just being an idiot, because that wasn't what I was trying to say at all. I just think that people are so, it's just like, I swear, it's like talking to some people is like trying to nail Jello to a fucking wall. You're never going to get through to them. They only want to see what they're going to want to see, and then they put some type of, like it's some personal agenda that I have against a certain boxer. I've never had any agenda against any boxer. If anything, I have an agenda with outcome. If Dillian White was in his shoes and I had to think of it a certain way, I'd be like, I'd have to say something about that. But it doesn't matter. If Dillian White came in that fight at 200, from 200, and I'd say 45 to 265, it ain't going to kill him. But Tyson Fury going into this fight, 270, 280-ish, yo, that could be a huge problem for him. Honestly, I don't know if 265 will do it. For me, the best outcome is stick and move, tie him up, be chippy with your shots, keep your separation, use your boxing IQ, because you're not going to stop him. Does anybody see him stopping him in this fight? And is it coming off one punch knockout power? That's what I'm saying. So I don't believe that to be the case. So if people want to know where my head is at, it's solely there because I don't think Tyson Fury can stop him. Period. And if it does, it's going to come off of barrages of punches through consistency, through rounds, circling laterally, using his God-given abilities. It's not going to come in a one-punch thudding shot that is going to completely knock his brain strings loose, and he's going to have to recover from that. I just don't see that. So I can't chalk up my prediction or where my head is at based off of a fucking unicorn running through my front yard of my goddamn living room. That's all I'm saying. If Fury lost a few pounds, made more of his body parts and power delivery rather than having it around his neck and his lodestone, heat it faster, harder, and gas out a lot slower. Those are the exact points that I'm trying to make. More weight doesn't mean you're punching harder, especially if you're not building on the muscle. I mean, you could hit, speed equals power in the long run. I mean, look at Sugar Ray Leonard. Look at how he fought Chisora when he made him quit on the stool. He felt like his goddamn eye was popping out every time he touched him with the glove. That was through consistent levels of barrages of punches and significant shots. He wasn't playing no inside game. He was softening him up through a duration of rounds. So all I want people to do is just have their eyes open a little bit more and just like listen to what I'm really trying to say here. Am I saying that Tyson Fury is going to lose the fight? No. But how is he going to win the fight if he don't do those things? That's what I'm saying. So I would have to be of the belief that I don't see him really being nimble and fast at 270 plus is all. That's it. And I don't think a motherfucker is wild for saying that or thinking that. That's fucking crazy to me. I think Usyk can beat Fury too. AJ with the killer instinct and KO Fury. Look, like the thing is, he's never been proven if he's really the biggest threat in the heavyweight division or not. Intangibly speaking, I think that, he gets a lot of breathing room for the lack of talent that he has fought, based off of his intangibles. Because if you want to go off anything in his earlier career, okay, Vlad, that was before he gained the weight and he came back. Chisora, 1-2, before he gained the weight and he came back. After that, what did we get? What did we see? Schwartz, Safari, Pinetta, Otto Wallin didn't look too good. And he had to fucking punch in high volume and a lot of output and change the direction of that fight because he got significantly cut. And then here's the thing. Otto was weighing around 230, and Otto still touched him in the 12th, being significantly gassed with a fucking right hand, and he wobbled him. And he still almost had him out on his feet. So what I'm saying is we know Tyson Fury can get hurt by by anybody. Anybody. So people just got to think about that. Like, it ain't about who I like or who I dislike. I give a fuck less about, quite frankly, I'm not going to say I could give a fuck less about that. I don't know him. But as far as the fight's concerned, I could give a fuck less who wins. Like, shit, when Anthony Joshua lost to Usyk, I don't give two shits. It's about the sport. So understand that everybody who's doing this isn't coming from a place of, yo, I dislike that guy. Yo, I want to see this person win. I think that might be a problem that's with other people, not more or less myself. I don't have a problem speaking on my shortcomings or where I fall short at, strengths or weaknesses. I'm damn sure I'm not perfect, but I'm not going to sit up here and just act like, that I have an agenda against one particular fighter because I've never had. Yes, sir. I was still ragdolling guys 30 pounds bigger than me because of stamina, speed, and explosiveness. And see, man, this is the key. Like, I don't see how people. Why? Here's the question. This is what I don't understand. Everybody say that they such big fans of boxing and all of this shit, but why don't Dillian White stand a chance? How doesn't Dillian White stand a chance in this fight? I'm lost. This dude don't have no chance. He's just going to go out there and get beat like Chisora too? That's what I'm hearing. And if so, why do you think that? Oh, you dummy. You thinking about the 255-pound Tyson Fury. That's why. Because that could be the only way he get it done. So if he ain't that, then what? Salute, Boom. Let's see. Apart from Vlad, Fury is very careful who he picks to fight. When does Fury ever send contracts to the big boys who can fight as well as punch? I'm just saying, he ain't never really, Fury, man, look, Fury's a smart guy, man. And I'm like, to say people don't strategically pick who they're going to fight, I mean, let's be honest here. Everybody does. His comeback was strategic. And I'm not hating on it because he's a smart man for capitalizing on it. It's like, yo, you got Deontay Wilder out here. We clearly see that he won't fight Dillian White. We clearly see he won't fight Anthony Joshua, anybody like that. But shit, we know his skill set is below par. So why not take advantage of our comeback on this guy when we got the superior boxing skills? As long as we stay out of the way of this so-called bomb, we're right back in the driver's seat of the heavyweight division. It was a smart thing to do. If there was any time to be motivated about your boxing career, coming back and being successful at any given time, it would definitely be at the time Deontay Wilder was holding the WBC title. That's a fact. I just want to see the belt holders aim for unifications, no matter who has the belt, no skin in the game. Otherwise, that's it. That's it. Because to be perfectly honest, I'm more than happy that Usyk has the 3 of the 4. Because one thing about Alexander Usyk is he got fucking elephant-sized nuts. Pause. Like, he's not afraid to fight anybody. And a person who embodies the skill set and, is exciting to watch, who really don't give a fuck, who has the type of personality Usyk has, yeah, he's perfect to be the heavyweight champion right now. And he's going to be hard as fuck to dethrone him. I do feel like, you know what I'm saying, like, in a lot of ways, I just said this the other day. I said, bro, just because a person holds a belt don't necessarily make him a great champion. There's a lot of sus-ass champions out here, but then there's a lot of great fighters who haven't held a belt, who might not never get a chance to. Just the way the sport is set up right now, they might get overlooked. So I'm more than happy with Alexander Usyk or anybody who replaces him. If Anthony Joshua will come back and he win the second fight, that's some impressive shit. So do I have any skin in the game that is Anthony Joshua? Absolutely not. But I'll be happy for him because I know how tough it would be to have to come back from that. Yo, to suffer a loss to that guy in the fashion in which you suffered it, and then to try to come back and beat that man, no tune-up in between, no real chance of polishing your skills. This is what it was in the first one. Now this was the outcome of the second one. Man, that says a lot about an individual's character. That says a lot about a motherfucker's learning curve, the ability to be a stickler for sponging information and being able to translate that shit physically in the ring. That says a lot about an individual. I don't got no hate towards that. I just have a problem when people just start giving fucking like what is it, participation trophies and shit like that, or participation medals. Like, yo, he participated, like, here's one. I'm just saying, I've kind of feel like Tyson Fury is kind of getting that same type of energy that Deontay Wilder had right now. Is he a more proven fighter? Absolutely. But I don't think it's enough that we need to rest our hat on the rack as soon as we walk through the door boxing and just be able to kick our feet up like, yo, we can comfortably say that this is our heavyweight champion right now, and there's no disputing that. There clearly is a dispute. And we pushing another guy who got the second best resume in the heavyweight division along to the side like, yo, his resume ain't shit. It don't even matter. He wouldn't beat that dude, no way. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you feel that way, motherfucker. We still need to see it. It's got to be proven. Because what you say or I say isn't necessarily law unless it's played out. So that's where people get lost, man. Like, it's so much fanboy energy and shit like that. Having to compete and show and prove gets somewhere lost in the files of people's emotions, bro. This shit is weird. Like, really, really weird. That's that fanboy shit. Not a fan of the sports shit, flagrant fuckery. For sure. Fury's trying to beat White mentally at this point, but I don't think that shit gonna work. Hell no, it's not gonna work. You want to know why it's not gonna work? Because how you gonna beat a dude that's already mentally solid and can talk, been humiliated by knockout by a puncher? You know what I'm saying? After he talked mad shit. I'm just saying, like, Dillian White doesn't strike me as a mentally weak individual. If anything, we got to chalk that up to Tyson Fury. How the fuck is he really going to roll into this thing? Because contrary to, fanboy belief, this is one of the, if not, this might be the toughest fight of his career. I don't care what nobody says. And if I'm a dummy for thinking that, so be it. Because this ain't easy. I'm saying, wouldn't we say that Joseph Parker is a slick style? Stay on the back foot, use it, pops his jab, and uses every aspect of the ring that he possibly can. Didn't Dillian White floor his ass twice? So let's not act like, and I think that, shit, Parker probably can move better than Tyson Fury right now. Size, if we think about dimensions, I'm not saying that Joseph Parker is better than Fury. I'm not saying that. I'm not a Joseph Parker fan. I'm just speaking the Joseph Parker movement. The one thing that keeps him out of trouble and shit like that is his movement, back foot action. He ain't really heavy on the front foot approaching people like that. Like Chisora too, great fucking fight. But I'm just saying, is that usually how he gets around the ring? No, it's not. So if Dillian White can touch him, I'm just saying. Why do people act like this dude can't be hit all of a sudden? But fucking plenty of rookies have touched his jaw, tested his jaw, early in the game. Tyson Fury and all of this shit that people, all this extra shit that they put on top of them, I'm like, bro, like, let's be serious, bro. You can be 6'9", 6'10" all day. You can faint like a motherfucker, bro. All I got to do is hit you in your fucking stomach. Hit you in your side, because you got a whole lot of body there. I'm not really worried about your head and shoulders. The stomach don't move. The fuck? I'm just saying. Oh, this nigga said facts. Look at Jamel. Jamar Smello back in jail, huh, man? I don't even think he got out yet. Did he get out yet? I know they put him on a $10,000 bond or whatever, but he got indicted though, because he caught the charge back in September 21st of 2021. But then they picked him up on an indictment, so that means that the circuit court picked that shit up and they filed that felony. So this is getting a little bit more serious than what it was. And see, where Jamal messed up is the fact that he's already a freaking boxer. Yo, you get paid to do this shit, dude. You get paid to do this shit. And not only, you're not beating up somebody protecting your family, you're beating up one of your family members. I don't know who it was. They haven't given out that much information, but just the fact, dude, like, you get paid to knock people out. And you fighting family members at home. Jesus Christ, what is this? What is the world coming to, man? You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. A person get paid to throw his hands, turns down fights with David Benavidez, Demetrius Andrade, and any significant opponent that he can, makes excuses when, like, it just trips me out too how these guys like Jamal always had the pick of the litter, no matter what. Like, they just give these dudes the pick of the litter of, like, paydays, Charlos, Triple G's, all of that shit. And these motherfuckers just pass that shit up for a goddamn, for an assault charge. And believe it or not, over here in America, a lot of people don't know, but they take assault charges more serious than a lot of things. It's the fact that you're putting your hand on another human being. They take this shit to a whole nother level. And you're a fighter. So you're already looked at like a barbaric individual. You're supposed to have a lot more discipline. So they're definitely going to take this shit serious. They do not take assault charges lightly. Shit, a second-degree assault charge, which is a misdemeanor, will land you 18 months in the county on your first offense. You might get this suspended down to about 3 months or so. But nah, that's going to get you 18 months off the rip. A year and a half in jail. You didn't even have to punch him. You could have pushed that individual and ended up in jail behind that shit. That's how serious they take it. And let me get and here's another piece of bad news that goes along with all of that. He's in fucking Texas. Ouch. He's in Texas. Do anything wrong in Texas. There's just certain states you don't play around in. Texas being one of them, that's for sure. WBC gave Thurman a medal after the Barrios fight. Oh my God, didn't they? Didn't they? I even put a tweet out about that, Mr. T. I said, yo, boxing is a really funny game. These are my exact words. I said, boxing is a truly funny game. I said, when two losers can fight for a WBC title eliminator. That shit literally had me floored. Because I'm sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, how are these dudes fighting for a title eliminator when both of them are coming off of significant losses? Fucking Keith Thurman, you got your damn guts punched in. Then Mario Barrios, you got knocked all the way out. Wow. So when motherfuckers say shit like, just because you a champion, it don't necessarily mean you great and shit like that, these are facts. Because we clearly can see that they can, kind of throw wrenches in the game. Fanboys know, but this fanboys think Fury is that great. Look, they beyond. I don't even think that they think he's that great. I think anything, they just kind of like fly by night with they feelings for real. Like, that's what I'm starting. That's why I'm like starting to disconnect myself with certain types of shit when it comes to this, because like certain individuals in this boxing shit, they like real fly by night with their choices and their feelings. Like at 1 minute you know, they all loving Deontay Wilder. And then the next minute, you say, if I say anything good about Deontay Wilder, like recently I said, you know, who could he possibly come back realistically and fight and start to try to build upon his profile? Everybody's like, oh, that motherfucker finished. He don't stand a chance. Blah, 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 blah. Cool. You didn't think like that the other day. It's weird. And now it's just Tyson Fury is GOAT status. Anthony Joshua shouldn't even be mentioned. Dillian White, Greta Thunberg, how dare you? You see where I'm going with this shit? Like, yo, motherfuckers just fly by night with their emotions and this shit. As soon as they see one guy would win, they act like they was a part of the wave a whole time. And I know for a fact, because I can go back and like, if I really wanted to be a dickhead about it, I could like chop up like all of the comments from Wilder Fury 2, the videos I made on it, and show how many people never rode with this dude or the possibility of him scoring a knockout. To the third fight, everybody believed he gonna knock him out now. Now Fury got all the knockout power in the world. When we all were trying to simply say that, yo, y'all jumping ahead of the gun. We don't really know if this dude got a chin or not. We don't know if that guy can punch. There's a lot of things we don't know. Because who are you measuring it up against? That's why this shit is all microwave quick when it comes to, you know, where they on defense at, man. Shit is crazy. Why definitely Fury tough as test. It's definitely right. Like, look, Wilder could never test Fury how White can test Fury, possibly. It's just too many tools in the shed. Like I said, Wilder's one of those things where you just gotta stay sound in this thought while you're in the ring. Just be aware of where the right hand is. And if you keep the right hand busy, the left has nothing to offer you. Because it's not like he's changing stances. It's not like he's giving you wild angles to look at. He cups the right hand consistently throughout the fight like it's injured, and then he'll wing it. All you have to do is watch it coming from the top of the bleachers or coming from club level. That's it. Because that's the only two places the shots are going to come from. Top of the bleachers, club level. Because he doesn't throw anything else. The left hand fires when he significantly has you hurt and he starts windmilling it to death. So you got the comfort of knowing that, hey, well, this shot is only coming from this direction. You don't really have that luxury with. You're not going to have that luxury with Dillian White. He's really going to have to. He knows that he's meticulously going to have to break this thing down. He's going to have to, he's going to have to box him up and shit like that. But if everybody around you saying that, a person is a scrub, maybe you start to believe it as well. And I'm just saying, this is the same individual who broke. We got to think, Fury walking around in fights right now, 278. And shit, he was overweight at 330. How great is he really going to be moving out here, man? He was overweight and was a mental head case at 330 pounds, drug addict. You know what I mean? So how great is being 2 pounds off of 280 pounds really doing for you? Just saying. It's like, yo, people, like, I think there's like, maybe it's a rush for people to feel like they want to be a part of certain shit, or I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what the fascination is with Fury here. Oh yeah, like, best believe, I truly believe, like, yo, his uncle going to definitely sue the fuck out him. If I don't know if it's his uncle or not, allegedly uncle, auntie, cousin. Who's to say it wasn't a woman though? I don't know. We don't know who he hit. Cause it's still yet to be they've yet to say anything about it. So I mean, I'm sure if we got the if we went, well, I don't know. K-Search still wouldn't even tell you. You probably had to get the police report. I have no interest in Fury. Style is boring. The majority of fights are corny. He is hard on the eyes. AKA fat and ugly. Fans got him on a pedestal that most people don't. I'll fight anybody with a better 160. And that never happened. That never happened. That dude fucking he blew straight. Hey, he was blowing hot air with that shit, man. That dude, like, yo, after he fought Juan Montiel's, like, what else needs to be said? You know exactly who he is. I mean, for real, honestly, who was it? My guy, Russian cat, Matvey Korobov. Matvey Korobov beat his ass. How does Matvey Korobov got better slicks, better movement, better combo output, better combinations than you? Got a higher IQ than you, and you're highly invested in at about 700,000, 750,000 per fight. And they got the world convinced that they're getting a lot of money. Hell yeah, you can get some serious time for that dumb shit. Yeah, man, they don't play about assault. And the thing is, now it's a felony one. You know what I mean? So you could get he could get, man. Look, I don't know how much influence Jamal Charlo got. I really can't say how many friends and high places that he does have. But all I'm saying is, bro, if you don't necessarily like this shit is one, it's going to break the little pockets that he thinks he does have, because I know for a fact that his last pay-per-view did 100,000 buys, bro. 100,000 buys. He did 100,000 buys on a pay-per-view. How much money does the Charlo twins really got, man? You live in Texas. The cost of living out in Texas is not that expensive. Trust me, I live in Maryland. They busting heads out this motherfucker. I would love to take my income to Texas, bitch. I'm balling. That's a fact. That's a fact. For real, Marylanders, we the type of motherfuckers that when we go on vacation, if we out in like Texas, Florida, and shit like that, oh, you best believe we're gonna be balling out of control, acting bougie as fuck. Because the cost of living up this motherfucker night and day. There's only like a couple other places in the world that like got us and that shit. Well, as far as the state's concerned, shit like New York, Los Angeles, shit like that. But yeah, like northeastern cats, we definitely go down to those areas when we want to spend a lot of money. I was facing some really serious troubles for assault with intent. They don't give a fuck who or what it's about. You'll get railroaded fast. Oh, they gonna sit you down quick. They gonna sit you down quick. They said Jamal was trying to be greatest family member. That's the best one on his resume. That's some funny shit. Hey man. Oh my God, that's hilarious. That fight was for a WBC participation medal, win or lose. For sure, man. I couldn't agree more. Two ends, do you honestly believe Fury think he's gonna smoke Dylan easy work? Or you think he knows it's gonna be a hard fight, hence why Fury ducked Dylan last year, whenever it was? I think he knows it's gonna be a tough fight for real. I really don't think Tyson Fury, man, look, Tyson Fury ain't going into this situation thinking this shit going to be easy. He's going into that shit. He talking the same shit that he always talk, because of course he's not going to jump out in the media and say, yo, this shit is going to be the toughest fucking fight of my life. He'd be a fucking fool to. You know what I'm saying? This is not who he is. But deep down inside, you're not bringing Jared Big Baby Anderson and Joseph Parker, who already trained on your team. You got him sparring rounds with you and other people in there who can do certain things. You're not bringing those guys in if this is some easy work. Like, for real, for Deontay Wilder Fury 3, I don't even think he trained for that fight. Realistically. While Deontay Wilder was training, you could tell by the size he came in there. He came in there almost 280 pounds. You could tell how bad Tyson looked compared to how strong Tyson looked when he was training for him in Wilder 2. Like, he had something to prove, but you could tell in the third fight that he didn't give two fucks. Deontay Wilder over there with Malik Scott, I mean, like really putting in his best of work. For the first time in Deontay Wilder's life, I really think he tried his ass off. He really did. And what we experienced was we got the best of Deontay Wilder, which wasn't very much, and Wilder Fury 3. And you got a Tyson Fury who didn't give two fucks until he touched the canvas. You could tell he was out of shape. By the way, he was getting up. That shit was zapping the fuck out of his energy. There's a whole lot of meat hitting the floor. Pause. I'm just saying. This dude know he in for something more than what the fuck was offered in Wilder Fury 3, 2, and 1, man. You can't go out there and box the Vlads of the world and then go and come back and entertain WBC's champion Deontay Wilder and just like, yo, how many people do that? If it's really a tough opponent, how many people are just jumping out there and saying like, yo, I'm just going to go ahead and take this dude 2 fights after being 330 fucking plus pounds and a straight up cocaine addict? How many individuals really do that? So you had to think significantly like less of Deontay Wilder. Like, we know that was a joke. This isn't one of those. I'm sure Joseph Parker in his ear telling him that this ain't one of those. I'm sure when they study and tape on him, I'm sure Sugar Hill probably behind the scenes saying that Dillian White definitely ain't one of those. He know that, man. I don't care what nobody say, man. People can try to dress that shit up and try to sprinkle as much sauce on as they want, bro. But that motherfucker know damn well that shit ain't no walk in the park, dog. And goofy motherfuckers in boxing, they might make fun of this shit because because you know what they was first. They was Deontay Wilder fans. And they never thought nothing of Dillian White anyway. They ain't never give a fuck about his circumstances, or they don't give a fuck about following the sports in its entirety, understanding what's really going on, et cetera, et cetera. They just talking from the side of their neck. These motherfuckers probably ain't even watched one Dillian White fight for real. They probably didn't like the way he looked and turned it off and said, well, compared to the way this guy look and that guy look, oh, it's easy work. These motherfuckers don't be paying attention for real, for real. But he know what's up, man. He know what's up. That Twins, who did you think won last night? I had Jacobs. I didn't watch the fight. Last night. I fell asleep watching the UFC card. But I tweeted that I felt as though John Ryder was going to win because I said Danny Jacobs has been less than impressive for me lately. Like, his fights have been complete snoozes. Like, there's a whole lot of apprehension in his fighting style. I've become accustomed to just tuning out Danny Jacobs in a lot of ways because he's just an average boxer to me. And I felt like John Ryder was going to have to fight the fight one ways, you know what I'm saying? Stealing a lot of rounds, getting inside, and just, making it an ugly fight of it. I don't know how it went. Y'all gonna have to tell me how that fight went because I didn't watch it yet. I'll probably watch it a little bit later today. That probably give me something to do tonight after the Super Bowl, man. Blue Nuts, what's popping, man? That's my bro. Fury knows for a fact White ain't easy. He got to know. And anybody that want to play around with that and think that it's a game or whatever the case may be, that's because, man, they're just not fans of the sport, man. You're just not a fan of the sport, man. I'm not saying Dillian White looks the best in everything he does, but every fighter isn't going to look the best in the way they do things. But that doesn't mean he's not a good fighter or a great fighter. I really think that this is going to be a trial by fire, and it's really on Tyson Fury at this point how he's going to come at it. You're going to play around with it, and you're going to get knocked out. That's just how I feel about it. If he plays around with it, he's going to get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it boils down. It's just like shit, man. Like, they think 278-pound Fury is just like, they think that he the GOAT. He knocking shit out now. He popping shit. Man, Fury is trash at 270 plus pounds, man. That's not the real Tyson Fury. The real Tyson Fury is 255, 256. Now Sugar Hill done went and blew up and put fucking 20 plus pounds on this man. And the only reason he did it was for Deontay Wilder. So if I'm still looking at this dude look like a fucking thing of soft serve ice cream on a fucking cone, then what else could I think of it than, oh man, this nigga's gonna get murdered. He's gonna get murdered. Sugar Hill said Dylan White is dangerous. Probably because Sugar Hill know what's up. Sugar Hill know, man, that like, yo, Sugar Hill job might be on the line, man. His job might be on the line, man. Let's talk some real shit. Tyson Fury ain't known to keep you when things look okay. Tyson Fury wants a certain type of performance. If it ain't going that way, he gonna get rid of you. That motherfucker got rid of Ben Davison because Ben Davison played it too safe with all of his opponents. Then he went and got Sugar Hill because he was like, yo, this motherfucker is shit house. I need to knock him out. Now, if Sugar Hill come up in this motherfucker, yo, look, Sugar Hill know damn well he got to put Tyson on the back foot in this fight. Who doesn't, man? Who doesn't? Oh, Tyson Fury gonna get inside and he gonna pivot the shit out of him, catch him with a hook and knock him out. Is that what he gonna do? Is that what he gonna do for real? Come on, man. Come on, man. I just don't like how people just can't use their ability to think of anything else other than, oh, he's gonna win. He's gonna win. Fuck out of here, bro. This shit ain't set in stone, man. Yeah, because when Fury fought Wilder the first time, Fury could have fought AJ instead, but he took the easy road. Yeah, that's when they set that date at Wembley for like April 21st, some shit like that. Ain't nobody want to take that shit, but it's because he's a bum and he lowball. And he don't offer this and offer that. No matter how many lies you expose, people still see it the only way they want to see it. And I'm just sick of that shit. It's like, bro, I could make fucking videos just sitting in my car, some shit like that. Motherfucking just throwing up a whole bunch of bullshit and not even taking my time to give you highlight news articles, read the articles, post, you know what I'm saying, the videos and all of that shit so people can really see what they're saying and know what they said and really know what the truth really is. I could just talk a whole bunch of fluff shit, but that don't make it real. But then when you give motherfuckers the facts and they stare them bitches straight in the face, motherfuckers is like, you a hater, man. Like, yo, look, this like, I swear to God, the worst thing that ever happened to the world was the removal of the YouTube dislike button. Yo, I seen this meme, right? It was like a Grand Theft Auto. It's like dude playing Grand Theft Auto. And he was like, I jumped on here to learn how to fly a plane. But he said, I jumped on here. He said, I jumped on here for flight instructions or whatever. But ever since the dislike, but ever since the removal of the YouTube dislike button, the motherfucking plane was doing cartwheels through the sky and shit like that. So basically what it was saying was a motherfucker had like no reference on how to do shit, what's right and what's wrong, because everything is supposedly like, yo, we all just agree on this shit. Like, I hate the fact that I can't see how many people dislike this video, because it's not that I particularly care if people dislike my opinion or not. We all have our own thoughts. Not everybody's supposed to agree. If everybody agreed with me, I think you all were fucking weird. You need to get a fucking psyche valve, for real. I really would. I'm just saying, when shit that makes sense, of course, we all agree on certain things, but like, yo, that dislike removal button, bro, it just shows you how comfortable the world really is with, oh, you just got to believe everything that's said. No, fuck all of that. Like, nobody wants to challenge perspective anymore. That's some really scary shit. It's a monster slippery slope. Oh, so so John Ryder won last night? That's crazy. Because I literally said in my Twitter post, I was like, yo, this probably isn't a favorable pick, and a damn sure ain't a popular one, man, but I'm picking John Ryder tonight. Things going to be stealing rounds on the inside, you know, making a real ugly one of it. And that's funny as shit that he won. That's funny as shit. But Arlen, you say he was robbed, so, you know, I know you got a pretty sound boxing mind, so I go with that belief as well. until I watch it. But that just gives me more incentive to want to watch the fight. Dylan also dropped Fury a few times back in the day. It's gonna be in Fury's head still to this day. Yeah, man. Everybody get a taste of some shit in sparring, man. But it's like, man, basically just a fight boils down to just how you perform on the evening, bro. You could have had 100 fucking shitty days in sparring, man. You can have one good day on fight night. That's all it fucking matters. The one that counts on your record. So, like any given fucking night, somebody can get their ass beat, man. Somebody could just come up short, take a motherfucker lightly, take their foot up off the gas, or a dude just come in there showing you a completely different side of himself than you've seen before. All of these things happen and take place, man. Like it just all boils down to like who wants it more. I just think that Dylan White's more of a focus of the two fighters. And clearly he's giving me more work that I can go off of and say that, okay, he's more primed and ready for this event than people are giving him credit for. That's for sure. There's no way Fury's been involved in British boxing for as long as he has and not know White is a deeper threat. Shit, I'm casual as fucking I know. Man, I'm like, it just all boils down to like, I don't know, maybe it is for, maybe, like, I don't know if I know, maybe boxers know as well that fucking fans are naive as shit. Fans are super gullible. You could take a whole lot of advantage of them. And, just like promotional outfits, I'm sure they know. It's like, yo, we take advantage of a lot of these fans. It's not hard because not everybody, like, is really the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to a lot of shit. Like, and a lot of people are just gullible and they just go off the first thing that they see that they enjoy. They're not gonna fucking go and they're not gonna go and double, triple check their sources. They're not gonna go and probably watch more than one fighter. It's more than I don't know. It might be some weird fucking attraction to a motherfucker, or you just like their style more. You just like the way he talk more, whatever. But some of those things don't boil down to boxing per se. Like, appreciate you all. It said by most of Verbers, Jacobs is clearly robbed. Oh, I like I said, I'll go with your opinion on it because I know you ain't just going, you know what I'm saying, tell me no wild shit. That just gives me more reason to definitely want to go and watch it for sure. Fury runs this shit. Yo, Reap, do you watch the YB? Who is the YB? I have no idea who the YB is. Ryder was working the body from the fourth on. He was smothering his work, but Jacobs gave away the fight from 6 and on. Oh, really? I just kind of figured it was going to be that type of fight. I just wasn't as invested in it. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. It's just nothing really appealing about a John Ryder versus Danny Jacobs matchup. But what's more or less appealing to me is just Daniel Jacobs. Like, Daniel Jacobs he hasn't been exciting. And he hasn't been exciting ever. Like, if you want to be perfectly honest, like, I mean, I watched that dude fucking struggle. Like, even though I know Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was like came in extremely overweight, like a light. I think he came in a light heavy in that fight, but he struggled with that guy. Just watch him, be lackadaisical in a bunch of his fights, whether it was Triple G or whether it was Canelo, and he was doing significantly well against Canelo, but it's just his brain just goes on autopilot to me for some reason. Every time I watch him fight, so that's why I never really get too too tuned in or really turned up for anything Daniel Jacobs got going on. I just feel like, yo, I'm like, bro, like you probably could have been, even though he was a world champion. I'm not going to take that away from him, but I'm just like, bro, you and Gabe Rosado just went out here and just put on the fucking snoozer of all snoozers. After that fight, I think that's when I was just like, I'm done with this kid. Jacobs did nick that win by about 2 rounds. So y'all feel like Jacob next he won it. I gotta go check it out, man. So clearly it was a close fight, is what y'all basically saying. It was close. They explicitly removed the dislike button for Joe Biden. Okay, they did though. They did. He was getting creamed. He was getting creamed on social media, whether it was CBS or what those other news outlets I care less about, CNN, all whatever their YouTube channel was, anything that hosted Joe Biden, even PBS. If it was any one of his speeches on YouTube, like they were smashing them shits. Like the dislike ratio was so astronomically like far from what the like ratio was. Like it would literally be like freaking 100,000 plus dislikes compared to like two to 20 grand in likes. Imagine that shit. No president has had like such a disapproval rate. Like he's literally like in the first like couple of months, this guy has upped inflation 12%, bombed Syria, completely shut down over like 150 to 750,000 in jobs behind the Keystone pipelines, jobs that were making people like 100,000 a month. So like, oh yeah, they ripping him apart. Like he's been, hey man, now you're getting. I've never met a motherfucker who signed a crime bill in 1994 that probably locked up more minorities than anybody on the goddamn planet to turn around and put out 30 million to take $30 million of the American taxpaying public's money and put out crack pipes in lower income neighborhoods for racial equality. But your son was the one who got caught with the crack and meth pipes in his mouth. But you're going to make multi-purpose smoking devices specifically for crack, methamphetamines, and you're going to put them on the streets in lower income neighborhoods for goddamn, for racial equality. But hold on, the crack pipe / meth pipes are coming in first aid kits. They're coming in first aid kits with Neosporin and alcohol swabs. You can't make this shit up. Like, I officially live in the wildest fucking country known to man. Like, it's just out of control. Like, it's like 30 million. Like, not like $30 million worth of crack pipes. Wow. Like crack is probably like the one drug in America that people aren't really like. You don't really see too many crackheads running around anymore, but you do see pill heads. You know what I'm saying? Like heroin addicts, things of that nature. Like the opioid epidemic is way worse. But 30 million in crack pipes, you gotta love it. God damn, you gotta love it, man. Oh my God. Like this is insane, but this is probably the worst part of it all. Now I'll get back to boxing in a second. This is just hilarious. I just smoked this morning too. Like $30 million worth of crack pipes that's gonna come out of your pocket and mine. But at the same time, you're still arresting and locking up crackheads for smoking it, ingesting it, and carrying it. So is this one big like Ponzi scheme? This is fraud. Like I know this is a fucking fraud. And the worst part is just like, bro, like you didn't even like it. Maybe he could have softened the blow if he would have said, we're minimizing the years, or we're minimizing sentencing for crack and cocaine addicts. And we're opening, let's say, $30 million to go into programs, and we're distributing, like pipes through certain like programs and stuff. I have no idea. But if you put it out there like that, it's just like, Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ, man. This guy, there's no helping this guy. There's no helping him. Like, hey, man. It's the world we live in. You know what? I asked for a free COVID test, kid said I got a free crack pipe. That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, like I thought this was supposed to be the worst, what, known to man, like in human history. I thought this was like the worst epidemic or problem we had in around the world. All of these people were dying in the 99.999 percentile range. Like, so now our main focus is racial equality through our focus is racial equality through the distribution of crack pipes and first aid kits. I've heard it all. I've, this is America, people. This is America. Jesus Christ. This is like you can't make this up. You can't make this stuff up. But hey, man, look, what a world we live in, man. You know what? Black History Month, mind you, Black History Month. You just completely forget about the Iran-Contra struggle, completely forget about Oliver North, completely forget about, just the scandals America's wrapped in when it comes to the cocaine trade. Just completely forget about them using just the inner city to distribute this cocaine and make money for a war fought in cocaine distributed areas. Just completely forget about all of that. All of the lives you've ruined. Just we got crack pipes, baby. Oh my God. I'm done. I can't take it anymore. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. This shit is insane. That it really does. It really does. It really just think, look at what they did to San Francisco, Portland. There are so many, like, look, man, you leave them in power long enough, your city will be destroyed. Like, you leave them in power long enough, that's all I'm gonna say. You leave them in power long enough, your city will be destroyed. You will be packing up, moving. You will probably look for a much more conservative or moderate approach, let me tell you. This shit is crazy. Gerald Fields, what it do? Man, I'm telling you, like, I've always been a person where I'm like, yo, that wild ass uncle that anybody's got that's like drank whiskey or liquor or anything like that, that fucking smokes 1,000 cigarettes, that always seems like he says the most sensible, thought-provoking shit when you could possibly never even fathom thinking of that shit at that time. That's the type of person who needs to be the president of the United States. And I swear to God, we would have the best run country in the fucking world. But that's just my thought process. People probably be like, I'm crazy for even thinking of saying some shit like that. But I'm dead ass serious. That weird ass, eccentric ass fucking uncle that fucking smoke joints, shows up late to every fucking thing, but always brings a bottle of liquor. He can't even bring cups, but he brings liquor to every event. That's the one that needs to be running for office. Because he probably sees the world through clearer lenses than any of these guys. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, man, I'm definitely gonna watch that John Ryder fight. That's for sure. Free crack pipes for everybody, man. For everybody. I don't even, like, yo, this shit is so crazy because it's like, how can I seriously go back to talking about boxing after literally just mentioning that my country is distributing $30 million worth of multi-function glass pipes, crack, meth, racial equality. I'm just gonna end it there, man. Everybody, I don't even know what to say because, like, my mind, it's some funny shit, man. Yet the solution is free crack pipes. It just doesn't get any. It just doesn't get any funnier than that. It just doesn't get any funnier than that. Like, free crack pipes. Not this New York. Mine is the worst thing to happen to this country. I'm telling you. I tried to tell everybody. Y'all remember when I used to sit on streams and I'd be wearing my MAGA hat and shit like that? And everybody used to call me like, yo, they're like, oh, fucking black conservative, this and that, like, or be like, yo, you've lost your fucking minds, and so on and so forth. But none of these individuals who shitted on me, from my political points of view, will ever sit up there and just tally up all of those Joe Biden L's within the first freaking 4 months of presidency. I would like to hear it. Where are those guys at? Because they're just radio silent. But everybody's shitting on me from my political point of view. Now, I'm not sitting up here saying that conservatives do everything right, but God damn it, I'm not even, I'm more of a libertarian. But what I'm saying is, I got completely destroyed for being a black guy, but I'm comfortable in my own skin. For being a black guy wearing a Donald Trump hat, I still got my Trump hat. People were ripping me to shreds for that thing. But as soon as Joe Biden hits the office, good God Almighty, I don't hear those same people expressing their frustrations with they pick right now at all. Then you got the ones who were so blue, who blood was so blue all through the terms of this so-called president's the running. Now look at him. Even they can't even stand the shit that he's doing. But oh, I was wrong. We were wrong. Some of you conservatives out here who were more red in this year's election, the past year's election, you were wrong. We were wrong. But can't nobody sit up here with a straight face and tell me that this country right now would be in this position with the other guy. Nobody would. Because the other guy, contrary to belief, he wasn't as bad as this. I'm just saying. And it's always the people who just were wrong that won't just say, you know what, hey man, like look, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck left or right, whatever the case may be, but yeah, man, I fucked up. That dude is fucking horrible. Like I'm not, Donald Trump didn't do everything right, but damn. 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 Come on, man. Like we're not gonna try to make everything that this dude has done and continues to keep doing and keep trying to wave this Trump flag like he was the worst dude in the world. Y'all gotta get that up, man. Y'all you ran that plot in the ground, man. Like, come on now. Come on now. The dude deserves some type of solace. Come on, man. Black men aren't the leaders of their community, so they need Trump. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. They hate him because everything they envy. They love They love Trump 10 years ago. Oh yeah, they all wanted to be up like Donald Trump. All of the Trump songs and everything. He was the coolest dude in the world until he ran for office and people started taking snippets, taking 30-second to 1 minute snippets out of freaking 10, 15, 30-minute long conversations and making the shit the way they want to perceive it. So to get your panties in an uproar and have you completely looking at the wrong thing. Like, don't even get me started. What happened to them not like, oh, I could go with so many, I could really go there. I could really, really go there about it all. I could. And in every situation, there would be some libtard that would sit there and be like, nah, 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 you're wrong. But fucking living in, I ain't even gonna say it. It's, everybody has the right to believe in what they want to believe, pick what they want to pick, choose who they want to choose, and view things the way they want to view it. But look, man, at some point we got to raise our hands and say, hey, look, this is where we fucked up. Shit, I used to fuck up. I used to be the guy that was like, oh, was blue for reasons I couldn't even understand. Then I had to understand, like, why the hell do I like these people? What the fuck have they done? What have they done? Other than consistently set people back year after year after year after year. What have they done? No, like a lot of people can't even raise their hand and say, what the hell is what have Democrats done for you? What have they done? And I'm not even, and once again, red and blue, neither party necessarily works for you. They all kind of behind the scenes work with each other and all of this stuff. But Everybody isn't a part of that certain thing. We all know what that thing is. Not everybody's a part of that thing. There are good people in the world. Red, there are good people in the world that are blue. But I'm just saying, the policies, the focus, the financial squalor, the 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 voting shit, like the spying on a whole party, like we just gonna sweep all this shit under the rug. Clearly, deleting votes, but say, hey, the ones that are archived, we delete them, but 2016 through 2018, they're still there. But it doesn't matter because people are so fixated on a thing that they want you to be focused on. You got to ask yourself, why wasn't I've never seen like so many people so hooked up on this whole like racial thing like in a long time. Like it's just weird to me because like a lot of people weren't like this. Like in modern society, it wasn't really like this. Then all of a sudden, like it just sparked some outrage. Everybody focusing on it, and then you wonder why. Because motherfuckers was losing. They losing the ears of the people. So they want to get you to focus on some ignorant shit. Like, man, if you don't think that people work against your interest and do foul things to keep you oppressed systematically, mentally, and all of that shit, man, dude, just go back and think of any freaking war or anything that's ever taken place, any significant event in history, and that'll tell you that that's a lie. So when I hear all of this, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all a white guy or, everybody's racist and all of that stuff. I kind of just like tip my hat to it, like, oh, that's the play. That's the play. That's the play to put everybody against one another because they losing their grip. Really are. I just hope more people will see that, man. And just like, look, all I say to people for real, just do your own research, man. Don't let mainstream media decide it for you. Like, really do your own research because the reason why you're watching the program because you're being programmed. Around 50% of the population vote. The winner gets around 50% of the vote. Therefore, 75% of people get a dictator equals democracy. Sure, that's a fact. Like the crazy thing is, just like people just need to like understand like the foundations of what great countries were built off of. Like it's so comfortable. It's so crazy to me how comfortable people are with socialism and how they're trying to change the definition of socialism in the dictionary all the way up to communism and things of that nature. Because I would have to say that we're more socialist right now than ever before. You can't even make your own. If you say something how you feel, they cancel it. What's more socialist, communist than that? After being miserable and accusing everyone of everything. I'm trying to tell them, but that's all they care about is themselves. Man, nobody want to hear that shit though, man. It's like, cause honestly, there's a certain group of people that aren't ever, no matter what you say to them, Gotti, like they never really going to hear it. And I understand that, and I get it. Like there's just certain groups of people, no matter what, they're never going to want to hear the other side. It's easier to like, yo, I forgot it's like a saying Mark Twain said, like back in the day. It's like easier to convince a person. It's easier to keep a fool fooled than to convince them that they were fooled or some shit like that. I know it's something like that. But basically, when a person who's been sucked up in the lie for so long, it's going to be kind of hard to pull them up out of it because they're never going to, they don't want to believe it. It's like if it's that bad and you tell them like, yo, you've been hoodwinked, they kind of got you, they're not going to believe it. They don't want to believe it. But that's just how it is. Trump economy was booming. Biden has hyperinflation coming in coming competent old fool. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, man, go to the store and buy anything right now. And you tell me if you saying thank you, Joe Biden, right now. Go get you some gas. Go get you a tobacco product. Go get you a freaking large soda. Dude, soon as this dude hit freaking office, man, I even seen the price go up on buying a freaking medium French fry. You can't even get a medium French fry for under $2.75. Like that would be a medium French fry. Hey, you'll never see a medium fry under $2.75. Everything is over $3.50. Like, well, just in my state alone, but I'm just saying, whatever your thoughts was, just tack another 12% on that. Just go ahead. And if you got, you know what I'm saying, and the tobacco product, just go ahead and tack another 60% on the tax on that. Like, dude, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. These libtards that want socialism need to go to Venezuela or Cuba. Look, when people don't understand, like, why do you think, like, I try to tell people all the time, like, everybody, like, people don't, like Bitcoin, right? We all know what Bitcoin was made for. Bitcoin was made for true freedom, the freedom of spending your currency anywhere and not having it dictated by the government. That's really what Bitcoin was all about. To not have your fucking money being dictated by the other guy, to being able to be freely to have your cryptocurrency, use it and spend it however you want it. It's yours. They don't have no parts of it. Now all of a sudden they got their hands all up in it, NFTs and all of that stuff. But then you wonder why they all a part of this shit. Because they don't want you to have money that's tangible. They want everybody to get comfortable with using. Right now it starts as Google Pay, Samsung Pay, and all of that shit, right? But if all your money is on the grid, then how are you ever going to, and they can control that shit by shutting your money down in a day. They got full control of everything that you've built, everything that you've owned, everything that you currently claim. And that's what they want to do with that shit. That's why they want the stranglehold on Bitcoin now. All of these things, man, it's about control. And if you giving more and more, every time I see these policies be implemented, you seeing people give up a little bit more control. A little bit more control is giving up a little bit more control. Like motherfuckers ain't go their lives just taking miles. They've always got an inch at a time, down by an inch at a time. And it's getting worse. Like I'm telling you, like motherfuckers with all of this social governing aspect and thoughts like that, motherfuckers don't understand what they asking for. Couldn't have put it in better words myself, Myron. Like I just think that like we're gonna get to a point to where it's like right now, all of the stuff that's going on right now, all of this stuff is to keep you thinking that you're going through something and that you're going through this certain thing that we're going through right now. We all know what it is, that whole jump shot situation. Try to keep everybody buried and distracted with this whole fault, no matter how false it is or whatever, to have you leaning on government. They don't want you, they want you leaning on government. They want you to take government handouts. Because if you taking your handouts from them and you can't use your own, and you can't buy your own, you can't grow your own, man, they own you. They want you to be all a part of some government. I don't want no parts of government. Fuck government. For real. Like I'd rather have all my own shit. I want all my own shit. I want all my own currency. Like fuck that. You can take yours, give me mine in gold and silver and shit like that. You know what I mean? I keep a little bit. I play a little bit of y'all shit. But when shit start to really pull left, oh yeah, I'm pulling all mine out. Y'all can keep it all. Keep that shit in the bank if y'all want to. You can go out that motherfucker one day, your Google Pay and all of that shit ain't gonna work. Y'all like the IRS looking through your financial every 600 plus transactions, bro. Like understand that's when it gets really scary. Because at 10,000 at a time, because it was 10,000. At 10,000 at a time before the IRS stepped in, you could do a little something with 10,000, but what can you really get of significance under 600 plus? For real, you can't even get a fucking car. If you try to get you a little bucket, like a little bucket vehicle that you wanted like stashed off somewhere for like emergency reasons, with a stash of firearms, with a stash of bullets, everything you need to survive, it's going to be impossible to get it at 600 plus. It's going to be impossible. At 10,000, you stood somewhat of a chance. Now they making that shit to where it's fucking impossible because I'm telling you, you can see it. You can see it happening already. Black 74, salute. Like, see, that's the thing, right? Like, everybody think that they making money right now and everybody living good right now. You living good right now, but if you don't comply, how good you gonna live? If you're gonna get to the point to where you don't want to comply, how good is your living then? Because everything right now is about compliance. Like, you thinking you're giving this freedom because people consistently complying, but they haven't given you anything yet. The only reason half of things are even somewhat decent is for those who haven't been complying. For those who don't comply, for those people who go to work when they decide to say, oh, you got to do this or you can't go to work and things of that nature. Control. And then you do it. And then they try to blame it on the person and say, oh, because the person didn't do whatever they didn't do, it's their fault. No, it's because you guys line up like goddamn sheep and go out there and comply and comply and comply. Compliance is the problem. Keep complying and seeing what that shit gonna get you. Motherfuckers really want to go back to this shit was cool and everybody was happy outside and didn't wear the weird shit and all of that stuff was going on. Stop complying. Stop complying, and I promise you things will get better. But let me get out of here, guys. I gotta get ready, run the store, get some stuff before the Super Bowl. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I'm going to check out that John Ryder fight ASAP. I'm gonna check out that John Ryder, Danny Jacobs fight ASAP. What my girl Arla was saying, and everybody else telling me about it. My man Tony was saying about it and all of that stuff, man. And I'm gonna see what's up with it, man. And if it's what you guys say it is, man, shit. I mean, there really wasn't anything else taking place in boxing, so I guess I'll drop a video for that. Start editing a video for that after I watch it and put together, a video for the stuff that happened over the course of this week. And oh, one more thing. Did y'all know that freaking the Money Team, like the Money Team imprint, is owned by 50 fucking Cent? Did y'all know that? Floyd don't even own his own TMT imprint. That shit is owned by 50 Cent. I guess the 2 months when Floyd was incarcerated or whatever, Floyd called for 50's help. So 50 went ahead and got the Money Team imprint copyrighted or whatever. Floyd never had, so that's why they fell apart back in 2012 or whatever. 50 still own that shit. If 50 don't want him to release a pair of socks or to use that name anymore, Floyd's done. That's probably why he's selling. And then on top of that, he's being sued by Logan Paul right now. Logan Paul still hasn't been paid. So maybe that's why Floyd is out here shooting jail shooters on fucking furniture commercials in Las Vegas. It's just really not looking good for the Money Team. Because I remember the same thing happened for Adrian Broner. He was just saying after the Manny Pacquiao fight, he said that he didn't get his 2.5 mil that he was supposed to get for the fight. This shit is crazy. So Floyd dealing with some serious issues. I think it might be smart for him to go ahead and try to reinvent that whole shit. Just get away from the Money Team moniker anyway. Just let Floyd have that shit. Get away from the Money Team thing. Like, yo, this dude, who is he supposed to be fighting on some helicopter pad? Who is he fighting? Who is he fighting up there? Y'all know? Floyd is just getting exposed by the minute of how broke this guy really is, man. Like you can't, yeah, facts, right? Facts. Because think about this, right? Think about this. Floyd freaking went out and bought a $20 million watch. One watch, $20 million cash. Koenigsegg, $5 million car. He had a whole fleet of like Mercedes, Bentleys. One house, all black cars. Other house, all white cars. Two big boy mansions. I heard that when Floyd travels, he travels in two jets, not one, because he doesn't want his security flying on the same jet as his family or his girlfriends or whatever. He wants privacy on one jet. So think about it. So he's got the TMT 747. Then he's got like the little G5s or whatever you call them, the little, the little private luxurious jet planes and stuff like that. The one 747 that flies a security team or whatever, that shit's like, that's fucking millions of dollars just to move that motherfucker. Then his other, so moving two jets at a time, a steady fleet of cars every fucking year that you don't lease, you buy them. Maintaining an opulent lifestyle, buying all of these Hermes bags for all of these ladies, this and that. Several events, you're not fighting anymore, so you're not getting those $350 million checks and so on and so forth. All of this money's just going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Get about 10, 15, 20 years of that. Now I heard he got like the money. Hold on one second, y'all. So I heard he got like this whole money team, NASCAR racing team and stuff like that. But my whole thing is, man, if you don't own the name, you're in bad shape, dude. You in real bad shape. Like Floyd is just yeah, watches are an investment to a certain extent. But I mean, if it far exceeds, you know what I'm saying, like your yearly output, well, if your yearly expenditures far exceed that watch, I mean, shit, I don't know how much a watch gonna keep you afloat, bruh. I don't know how much, you know what I'm saying, like especially trinket piece jewelry. Cause he got a lot of jewelry pieces, and man, look, them necklaces don't go far. Now the watches, that's one thing. Watches, art, certain things of that nature, like all of the cars that he bought and then he resold, you didn't get the same amount of money back on certain vehicles. That's a fact. You're not just going out and buying a $5 million Koenigsegg and then turning around and you selling that joint for 10. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. So all of them cars and stuff like that, bad investments because you bought them flat out and shit. So all I'm saying is, man, look, son gonna have to minimize it. I mean, I don't think he ever gonna get to a point to where he broke. But I think that, you know what I'm saying, like that whole billionaire Floyd shit, that shit ain't realistic, man. I don't think that shit realistic. He's spending way more than what he bringing in. It's like, bro, like you got to think. I heard we heard he been having these troubles since when he was having the fights. That's why he was putting together the Conor fight after his retirement and all of that stuff. Like, yeah, like, and we know that didn't he have tax issues too? He had to pay a big lump sum of tax money and stuff like that. So he's had a couple issues, bro. So I'm just saying, think of it like this. I'm just saying, bro, like, and think about just right now with the ticket scalping thing. Him and Al been doing this whole ticket scalping thing since before Conor McGregor. So them dudes they've been taking fights, upcharging the fight, and then putting the tickets back out on the market so they can make some extra bread off of the ticket sales and what they bring back in. They tried that same thing with Logan Paul and it didn't work. Logan Paul still ain't been paid or whatever, and they being sued by another cat who already a known snitch in the situation. So Floyd's kind of, you know what I'm saying, he's kind of getting a little too involved in situations the way he's supposed to have his hands off and be far removed from. I don't know, man. Anytime you see Floyd Mayweather playing with gel blasters, man, I think you know what I'm saying, your spider senses start tingling a little bit. Floyd is going to be exhibitions until he's 75 years old. I agree. I think because you know what I'm saying. Honestly, right now, I think the exhibitions are a byproduct of the money that he ain't bringing in for real, for real. So he's trying to get whatever little cash he can get out of the situation. Now he about to fight. What's this little kicks dude name? He messed with sneakers or something like that. If you were supposed to be the money team or billionaire Floyd or whatever, why is it that you look like you doing the stuff that you doing ain't really big money shit? From Tension, Nazakawa, whatever that dude was, the Tension kid. Now you fighting Logan Paul. Now you fighting this other kid in Dubai on a helipad that we know nothing about. Like, I'm just saying, it don't seem like the opportunities are getting better from here. It seems like they're getting significantly worse. I don't know. Money Kicks, that's his name. Money Kicks. What's up with this Money Kicks dude, Mr. T? Like, he got clout like that or what? I'm just saying, I don't think it's gonna make that much money, but I don't know Floyd to have no, Basquiat paintings, no Vincent Van Goghs, no. I don't know him to have no shit like that hanging on his wall, man. I don't know Floyd to have no really like no priceless pieces of art, nothing like that working for him. All it's ever been that I've noticed is ignorant cars, jewelry, show flash cash. Now I'm not saying he probably don't have a nice house, but that's cool. Yeah, that you got a couple nice houses and things of that nature, but what about like real estate ventures, dude? Does he have a heavy real estate catalog that we don't know about? Does he have like shit? Michael Jack like Jordan and Michael Jackson, them dudes was buying like big boy shit like Beatles catalogs and certain things that like really hold its value that can keep you hella rich. I don't know if Floyd Investments ever been too smart. Like, really, what the fuck does Leonard Ellerby do? I even remember, I think there was an interview with Roger Mayweather, and he was saying, "What the fuck is a CEO? What's he? What's he the CEO of? What does he do? He used to carry a spit bucket. Now he's rocking suits. Like, he used to be a hype man. Now he thinks he's the man." I mean, how many successful fighters does Floyd had? Tank's earnings don't look that great. It just seemed like all of these so-called smart investments, one after the other, like it seems like the Heyman blueprint is kind of like the get an investment, take that investment, circulate that shit through something else, try to get some money over here, kind of like the rob Peter to pay Paul kind of thing. Yeah, his nose is crazy. Yeah, man. I'm not saying he broke by any means, but I just think that the writing's kind of on the wall with like the stuff that he doing right now. Like, I can't see a person spend money the way they spend on themselves, they kid, all of their kids, your daughter, and then not to mention, you know what I'm saying, all your baby mothers, all of your girlfriends and stuff like that. Let's be serious. They not just sticking with Floyd because of his looks. They there because of all the perks that come with being with a Floyd Mayweather. You flying out 7 girls at a time, buying 7 girls bags. You say you don't wear the same thing twice. Y'all buying clothes, all of this stuff every day. Like, look, man, a man got one neck, one head, one pair of feet, and all of that stuff. But he doing outrageous. Like, yo, all his kids drive the type of stuff he got. He spend more money than what I see Jeff Bezos spend on himself. Like, realistically, he spent more money on himself than I see Jeff Bezos spend on himself. All of them shits, man. All that shit add up, bro. So yeah, man, I think son getting broke because yeah, Logan Paul said something about how they let Floyd handle the promotion or whatever. They ain't got their money back and stuff like that. And I'm just like, damn, okay, AB ain't getting his money back. Logan Paul ain't getting his money back. Man, them dudes doing bad over there, man. Them dudes is probably waiting for something else to probably work out, and it didn't. And now the pressure on to where they can't keep Logan Paul in the quiet, and they probably owe a lot of people a lot of money, man. Like, I'm sorry, if I go out there and I fight for 2.5 million or whatever the case may be, you got to give me that shit that night. You got to give me that shit in a timely fashion. If I ain't getting it in a timely fashion, man, we got problems. I don't know. I don't know how Al Heyman living. I don't know how Floyd living, but I know how I'm living, and we got problems. But look, man, I got to get out of here, man. I appreciate all of y'all, Mr. T, Cal L, Gabe Lopez, Miguel, Don't Ask Me, Tony Lines, Arlett, Blue. Everybody be easy, man. Y'all have a great day, man. I'm about to go get ready for the Super Bowl. As we always say at the end of the shit, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. Respect.